Welcome back to the latest episode of the Key and Mang Audio Experience. I'm your host, Mang, as always, and my fellow co-host, Key. Key, what's Gucci?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm on my second cup of coffee.
It's too early for 2 cups of coffee already.
It is 12:56 over here.
Man, I don't even know. Man, I still don't know how people. People were telling me like you need to start drinking coffee now that you got a kid, and you're gonna need the energy and stuff. And I was like, my rationale, I'm stubborn. I was like, I've gone this long without it. Why would I start now? I'm gonna figure out a way to get by. And there were a couple instances where I was like, I might need something. I might need a shot of something. But then I was like, you know what? Nah, I can't do it. Every time I try and drink coffee, it's just disgusting. So maybe I haven't had good coffee, but I'm staying true to not having drink coffee.
You know what's funny? I don't I don't drink coffee for energy. Like I like the way it tastes. So I like every time I drink coffee, I really don't feel like it gives me an energy boost. So I don't really know. I have had times when I had too many cups of coffee or too much caffeine and I feel jittery.
Yeah,
Like I
that
don't like that feeling,
that's
but
not a good
I don't
feeling.
feel awake. Like I don't wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm tired. Let me drink coffee," and expect it to do something for me.
Huh. Yeah, there was a time, like the jittery feeling, the feeling like your face is tingly. Have you had like beta alanine before? It's
Mm-mm.
like it's something you take before your workouts, like a vasodilator and stuff. I took it one time and my face was all tingly. Before I was like, I hate this. I do not like this. So I just stopped. Creatine, pre-workout, same thing. I don't like I roll off my natural energy. Whatever I got is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I never had pre-workout ever. I don't
I
think I
don't
would ever take it
I
because I'm
don't
old.
think
So
yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't think I just don't like I'm like, let me rely on my natural energy and see what I got.
I do want to take it one day and just be like, let's see how this influences my workouts. But I know it's gonna make me feel jittery because I'm probably gonna have caffeine and other sources. So
Yeah.
I'm good. I never, and also speaking of pre-workout, like I when I go to the gym and I'm tired, as soon as I start working out, I feel fine. Like I
Yeah.
feel guys. Like I don't need to feel energy to start my workout.
That's my thing too. Well, same here.
Yeah, so whatever. If you
Yeah.
drink pre-workout, that's great, good for you. But I'm gonna stick to my coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The same thing with less chemicals.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh, last thing before we get into the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking one of my finals in PT school and I was up mad late. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Starbucks and get a nitro cold brew.
Hmm.
And and I tried to order like the largest size, and they were like, you can only get like the grande size because the venti, the tall one, it has too much caffeine in one serving. Like it's illegal to have that much. And so I got the one that I was able to get, and I was up all night. I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. And I was jittery. I would never order that drink again. That has way too much caffeine in one sitting.
Yeah, that's not good. That's
That
not.
was that was not a good feeling. That was like my first time I had a lot of caffeine and like I had like jittery feeling. I couldn't sleep. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's not. I used to before games and stuff. I used to take this is like when I was young. I take like the 5 hour energy. And just to try and make sure my energy was up for games and stuff if I was feeling like a little tired. But it never hit when I needed it to hit. It would always hit afterwards, after the games and stuff. So I'd be up to like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Just can't sleep, wired. So I'm just like, you know what? This is stupid. I'm just gonna rely on my natural energy. Fall asleep when I fall asleep, just so I can normalize my sleeping schedule. So I'm just been out on I only take it now. I've only taken 1 5 hour energy since probably like I took an energy drink in college once. 5 hour energy. I took a 5 hour energy when we were driving for we were on the road going down south here in Cali, down to San Diego. And I was feeling a little tired on the road. I was like, I need something to pick me up so I can pay attention. And that's it.
I be doing that sometimes when I drive, but I've never done that.
Mm.
So what's going on in LA? What's the
LA
update?
is crazy. LA is crazy. If you're watching the news, you might have seen about how LA's been rampaged by some big fires and it's caused a lot of destruction, which is very true. And um we're doing this episode just as like a perspective of me and living here and being somewhat close to the fires, but also like to just shed light on what is being done here in the city and how people can support, the first responders, the people who have lost their homes, and however people can help. I know times are tough, but however people can help and donate or volunteer their time or clothing. Very much appreciated for the city because the city needs it's going to need it's going to be a long road. But see, last Tuesday that would have been um the 7th of January. Early in the morning, like 10:30, started hearing reports of fire starting out in the Palisades. The Palisades it's kind of by Malibu, West LA, very um affluent neighborhood, lots of stores, lots of schools. Like if you got money and you want a good view of the ocean and like convenience of like LA life, what you think about in the movies or the shows where they might film, that's probably the Palisades. You're probably gonna be there. So fire started out over there in the hills and quickly began to grow in size and it was hard to contain. So I went to work as normal on a Tuesday. Started hearing about the fires and people were like, I don't think it's gonna grow that big. We're used to fires in the wintertime, which was a shock to me because I know summertimes I understand how fires can start, but winter time, I was like, yeah, I'll used to this in the winter because it didn't happen last year like this. But so you're under the impression that it's going to be relatively handled, small, contained, but it also happened to be the fact that there were 50-mile-per-hour winds gusts going on at the same time. And if there's a fire going and there's big winds that can just push the fire and have it spread really quickly. And that ended up being the case. I remember walking out that Tuesday night and the sky was red. If you look like west toward the ocean, the sky is red. And I was like, oh, that's not a normal thing. Like you're just used to the darkness of the darkness of the sky, but you just see a red glow in the sky. And like, all right, so I'm like antennas picking up a little bit, like, all right, this thing is growing. Thought it was gonna be like contained within a day. So then we get home, and then you turn on the TV and you just see like aerial footage of the fire and how big of an area it's encompassing. You're like, all right, that's kind of scary. And me never having been in a fire before, I'm used to earthquakes, haven't been in a hurricane, haven't been in a tornado or anything like that. Fire is just a little scary because of how destructive it can be and how quick it can spread. So we're keeping eyes on it, but we're not really sleeping. Like it's hard to sleep because we didn't know how fast it was going to grow. And this place, the Palisades, is probably like 20, 25 minutes away from where we're at. So you can imagine if the winds pick up and blow the right way, they could come towards the city, and then that's a whole different situation that I don't know if anyone would have been prepared for. But we're kind of going back and forth with keeping track on the apps of seeing what's happening with the fire and what the updates are. They start to evacuate places close to like Santa Monica, Brentwood, Malibu, all kind of places close to like my area. And so I'm like, all right, what are we gonna do here? So we wake up in the morning, probably like 6, 7 a.m., go look outside, and you can just see the smoke cover. It's like black, it's dark gray, and it's like right over our balcony almost. And I was like, yeah, that's probably that's not a good sign. Just like indicating that it's getting bigger and it's starting to travel more inland, which is scary at the time because you don't know about the air quality. You can't see any of the particles, but it's like you don't want to be ingesting this into your system. So we made the call to then evacuate. But at that point, it's like a lot of homes in the Palisades had already like been burning down to the ground. So some people had already lost their homes and they didn't know they'd lost it yet because they had to evacuate because they were in the zone. So they evacuate, but they have like some of the aerial views or some of like the cameras of like the areas that are affected, and they're like, oh, this neighborhood, all the house is gone, or this area, houses are burning. We're not able to control the fire, so we can't put it out. So just things are going down to the ground. So we decide to evacuate just out of safety for the girly. And we move out probably like maybe another 15 miles down south, kind of by the airport. And we just stayed inside the whole day, staying updated. And just fire is just continuing to grow. Goes from like 3,000 acres to 10,000 acres to 15,000 acres. Now then to 20,000 acres. And I was like, geez, it's no signs of slowing down, and people are doing whatever they can. Firefighters doing everything they can, but there was a problem with like the pressure in the waters, not enough water in the fire hydrants. So the fire trucks weren't able to get enough water pressure to like use the hose to bring down some of the fires. And like there was talks about like the reservoir but wasn't filled. Like there's a reservoir here for water to be channeled in from up north to like a continual flow, but that was empty. So I don't like LA wasn't prepared for the the how fast and how big this fire ended up turning into. So we wake up the next day, we're in the hotel. And I go outside and I'm like, yeah, we probably should bounce just because, it's now starting to get smoky over there. Like, you can smell the smoke. You can see some of the ash falling into the sky. And I was like, yeah, we probably should go just to be safe. So we go, but we're still keeping track of what's happening with the fires. Um, at this point, you start hearing about, members that we see at my place, and their house is completely gone. Schools are completely gone, grocery stores, pretty much a lot of things in the Palisades area completely down to the ground, ash, destruction, roofs collapse. Like it was really bad, really, really, really bad. And I know there was coverage on the news of what you see, and they kind of showing like the worst of it, but um that was a lot, and that was really scary. And I think now we're what, like 15, almost 2 weeks in, like almost approaching 2 weeks on Tuesday. And there's a lot of the fires have been calmed down. There was a Palisades fire, there was a Eaton fire that affecting like in Hollywood and that kind of area. There were two big fires going on at one time, and now things are starting to get under control, starting to get contained, which is nice. But the rebuild of what it's going to look like after is going to take a long time, a lot of destruction, a lot of money. You got a lot of insurance fraud happening. You got people's insurance policies being dropped earlier in the year, earlier last year, and now not able to cover this like tragedy like this. A lot of things happening and have you questioning what's going to happen to the Palisades. How's it going to be rebuilt? Are people going to move back? How long is it going to take? 200 like billions and hundreds of billions of dollars in damages, and it's still not over yet. But it's a scary experience. Feel for all the people who have lost their homes and schools, and you don't have a lot of time to go back to. You knew that like once the fire's happening, you knew that you had to evacuate and get some stuff, but you can't grab everything. And there's like people's art pieces, family heirlooms, things that that you cherished for a long time that are now gone, and you didn't have a chance to save it because you had to pick the most important things. And some of those people have been living there 70, 80, 90 years, and to have all that gone is it's heartbreaking. So, um, scary experience. Still going through it. The fire is slowly getting contained, which is positive, and getting a lot of help from other states and other countries. So, appreciative of that, but overall, a very scary experience, and just praying for everybody affected by the fires.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a scary experience online and then also on the news. I feel like just watching that, it didn't feel real. So like I couldn't imagine actually being in Cali in close proximity to that. Like just watching it felt like it was in a movie, like a disaster movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not anything that I can actually imagine being inside. Um, and then also something that I was seeing when this was happening was like certain people online saying like, oh, they have all that money, like why does it matter? Like you have you seen that?
Yeah.
I just think that's such a wild take because no matter how much wealth you have or how successful you have or how much success you have, I don't think that takes away from your human experience. Like these are
Hmm.
still people who, like you said, have lived there for 80 years and or a long time, and now all their stuff is destroyed.
Hmm.
So I think that was some stuff that I was seeing online that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I just think it's interesting how people view successful people and they just assume that they're not humans and they can't suffer the same way that other people can. So that was something that stood out to me.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there's definitely celebrities that live out there. Like, the not Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton lost her home. A lot of names that we know lost people that we know, but there was also a lot of people who had their house built there a long time ago and it's been passed down from generation to generation. And they might not have that wealth that A-list celebrity might have, but it's their house is gone too, and they don't have the means to be able to rebuild their home. So now they're getting displaced. And you know what's crazy here? We've been seeing a lot of like now people are scrambling. People that are affected by the fire, people are scrambling for homes and short-term rentals and places to live and things like that. And rent prices have skyrocketed. I saw a post like somewhere in Bel Air, 4 bedroom, 4 bath or something like that, like this house, for 15,000. Suddenly, yeah, 15,000 is crazy, right? 15,000 a month. Suddenly went up to 29,000 after as the fires were going on. And I was like, this is criminal. Like a lot of people have been displaced, a lot of people need help, and people out here like trying to get a quick buck and can take advantage of people's desperateness to find a place to call home for the next couple of years potentially. I just think it's horrible to hear about that and people trying to get people's insurance checks in the mailbox, like people looting people's properties that are still up there. Like there's a lot of like not like evil stuff happening in the world too, in that community as well, which is unfortunate.
And also, yes, I know it's a very affluent neighborhood that was primarily affected, but I know one of my clients lives out there, and she had one of her son's coworkers come stay with them because their house got burned down, and these are like middle class people, you know. So
Hmm.
I think that it's not just the richest people of the world being affected. I think it's affecting all income levels.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
What about I don't know if this even got affected, but what about like the homeless population in LA?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I haven't heard too much about that because I think a lot of, at least from what I've seen, is a lot of it's more inland. Like more, you're gonna see a lot more of like the homeless pops, at least from my understanding. I've seen more inland towards like in the city versus out towards the Palisades or out towards Malibu or something like that. So I don't know. I'm sure like there's, you know, places that have been affected that people might have frequented or wanted to go to, but I'm not too sure what the situation looks like right now.
And then when it comes to helping the people who've been affected by this, what resources are out there by you, or how can people help?
Yeah, so there's been LA has this stigma of, like people chasing their dreams being very selfish and just wanting to, chase the good time and, having the backdrop. But it's also been a time of, when tragedy hits it, they've been very resilient as a group and very giving as a group. So, a lot of companies donating shelters, like their space as a shelter food options, clothing donation boxes. The American Red Cross I know is doing big to donate towards all the proceeds going to victims here. You got like the NBA doing concerts that all the proceeds going to like wildfire victims. So I think just at a local level, you got healthcare professionals um, volunteering their time to the first responders who need treatments, whether it's PT, DC, ATs, whatever the profession, nursing, whatever the profession is, they're coming together to give back to the community and the first responders who are out there fighting the fire. So a lot of efforts going into to help the community and help out how they can. People open up their homes to allow families to come in to stay with them if they've been displaced or lost their home. So the city is doing what it can to help the rebuild, and it's going to be a long process. But a lot of people have shown up to make sure that that people are taken care of.
Are there ways for people who are not local to LA to donate or help out? Like, are there places to ship clothes and things like that? Because I was asking my client because she was saying that she was donating clothes somewhere in her neighborhood, but in order to get things to Cali, you have to ship them. So, like, is there like designated places where you can ship things to?
That's a good question. I'll get back to you on that. I'll put that in if I find when I find out, I'll put it in the show notes so people can donate if they have clothing they want to donate. We can set that up in the show notes. I know American Red Cross has been receiving donations. But yeah, I'll find that information and I'll send it and put it in the show notes as well.
Yeah, I think that'll be helpful. Because if I've been seeing a lot of like GoFundMe's online, and sometimes you don't know if they're legit or not, the
Mhm.
GoFundMe's. And I think even if you don't have money to donate, I think clothes is an easy thing that people can help out with because
Mhm.
people are always trying to get rid of clothes.
For sure, for sure, for sure,
I know I am. I have like 3 or 4 bags that I've been trying to get rid of. So, I think that'll be an easy way to help out.
for sure. No, I will find that information and I'll link in the show notes and send you that as well.
Is this gonna be one of those experiences that you tell your daughter?
Yeah, yeah, probably. This is like the biggest wildfire in LA. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like this, I don't think anything that's like this happened recently. So definitely gonna be something about how she was just chilling through it all and
yeah,
sleeping through it all while this part of the city was burning down. So, in due time, she'll learn about it.
that's cool. So you guys got the story from Bang himself. If you guys want to donate or help out LA in any way, check the show notes. Mang is gonna link that there. And then if you guys have any questions or want to know more about this experience, definitely reach out to Mang, and I'm pretty sure he'll be happy to share.
For sure. And prayers up to everybody affected by the wildfires. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace.